Hi, this is Todd from Demergo Studios back again. Just wanted to give a quick update. Not so much an update, just want to talk a little bit about an idea I came up with last night. I think it's interesting how some of the best ideas, well, I kind of came up with this morning, but when you're sleeping and you're dreaming, when your brain is kind of at rest, you come up with some really cool ideas. And I just wanted to sketch out this interesting idea, gameplay idea I had for our Gopher game. I've dubbed it now Gopher Town. I'm not sure if that's what it's going to stay at, but that's what it is for now. So I just had this cool gameplay concept. One of the things I've been thinking about for a long time with this game, and I hadn't necessarily spoken it yet. Maybe I did in a stream earlier, but was an inventory system. Like, I want the ability for the Gophers to be able to go between areas, either carrying objects or holding objects, or just to help with the puzzles. Make them a little bit bigger, more widespread than just screen local to the screen. Though I do want to do just a lot of screen local puzzles. So I've been thinking about that, and so I'm just going to go into little details about the game design, kind of the core gameplay of the game. I've talked briefly about it, but I haven't shown you, so I'm going to bring up my Affinity designer and do a little sketching, kind of sketch a little bit about what the gameplay is like. I'm not an artist, so these are going to be very, very basic, but I'm trying to communicate a gameplay idea I have that I think could work really well, but we'll see. Obviously, until I test it out, I won't know. But I want to sketch it out for you guys so you guys can kind of understand what I'm doing and kind of where I'm going with this. And we'll kind of see what happens from there. So we'll go to Affinity Designer right now. Here we're in Affinity Designer. We've got this. Screen zoom in. So right now, kind of the gameplay is your little gopher on the screen, and you move around using your finger. You drag your gopher around the screen, and that's how you navigate. Drag him all over the place. Obviously this is a iPhone screen, so it's going to be portrait actually, not landscape. But so you kind of drag them all over the screen. And one of the core gameplay ideas of our Gopher game is that you have these other little gophers around the world that you go and you collect, and you go around to these other locations and you collect them all. And as you collect them, they kind of become a train on your player. So then as you drag, it's kind of like Snake. Your tail grows longer and longer, and it becomes more difficult. And so one of the things I was trying to think of is, so how can I, what is the point of this tail? How is this going to help you? Well, one of the ideas was, okay, maybe you've got a little chain of buttons and a big button here, and in order to get through some gate, you have to drag your guy on here, and then your little guys will go here, and it'll select all the switches, and the gate will open or something like that. That's a cool gameplay idea. I kind of like that. That's an interesting way to go. But one of the other cool ideas I had, this is the idea I came up with the other night, was something more along the lines of, here, let's add another layer, was something like, so we've got these items, let's say, that's a beautiful looking barrel, right? So we got these items, beautiful looking barrels, and we've got our player, and he's got a little train on it. So what he does is he goes up to this barrel. When he's next to a barrel, he let's go to a different color. Let's do something like red. He taps on the barrel, and so what happens is, and let's actually. Let's actually. Sorry, I haven't used Affinity Designer in a little while. I gotta go up to the move tool. There we go. All right, so we move them up here. So our player character now is next to the barrel. And so what we do is we tap on the barrel, and so what happens is, ooh, look at that. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. So we tap on the barrel, and so what's going to happen is in green we'll see the movement of the barrel. So the barrel will pop above the player, like the player's holding it, holding this barrel. And if he's got a chain, it'll actually, instead of popping on the player, it'll pop onto one of the guys, one of his little guys. So now suddenly we have this inventory system. So we'll have these guys. So we'll have our little chain here, and he'll be carrying this green barrel, let's say, around the level. And so suddenly now we have an inventory system. The more little guys you have, the greater your inventory to carry stuff around the level and drag him around. Obviously, if your little guy gets run over or hit or something like that, you lose the item. The item will maybe just go back or just plop down on the ground or something like that, and you lose the item. So suddenly we've got this. So you say, well, that's great and all, but how do we, let's say we first start the level and we just have our guy. Well, by default, if it's just the player will have the barrel, will hold the barrel around. And as he moves around the level, just the player will hang the barrel, hold the barrel over his head. And then when you get to a place where you need to place the barrel, so let's say we've got here, let's use purple for a square, and we got this barrel. You just maybe tap on the square or, do a double tap on the player, and then he'll sense his location and put the barrel down. Double tap on the player. That looks like evil eyes. And then the barrel will get put on, or maybe double tap on that square or something like that and get put on. Put on the thing. Obviously, if you have more people, if you have a puzzle that requires you to, well, okay. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is there are pros and cons to having a long chain. If you have a long chain, you can hold more items and more inventory, which means you don't have to do as much moving around the levels and going back and forth and stuff like that. So, but the con to it is your chain, that snake, is a lot more difficult to navigate around the world with and not get cut off and lose gophers off of it. So it's a very interesting concept. I kind of like it. And so the idea is, maybe there's another purple barrel here, and our guy goes over and clicks on it, and suddenly the purple barrel goes back to this guy here. So he's got the purple barrel. You say, so how do I select which one to place? Well, so let's say that you can switch. So how you switch between them is you just tap. You tap on the item that you want, and either that'll go over the player's head, so that's the currently selected inventory item, and that's kind of what I'm thinking is. So when you double tap, it'll let's do purple again. Let's do a purple again. So that'll come. Well, that didn't do what I wanted. I forgot. So that goes here, and then it goes over his head, and now he can place it wherever he wants. So we've got this sort of like inventory system here that that you can have different items in, and maybe we'll do power-ups or something later on, but like different inventory systems. So I really like that idea. So let's kind of draw this out in a more organized fashion. So let's create a new layer here. Hide this one. And so we've got some different gameplay ideas. So we've got a lock idea. So we've got these, let's go with blue or purple. We've got these squares here. And then the player will have to get on it with his little guys. And then that opens, let's go back here, that opens maybe the gate up here, you know, that was a terrible arc, another terrible arc. Swings open from this level because, you know, we got this big level, and just by going on it, that opens. So we've got this locking mechanism here. Now, then we also have this inventory. And so again, we've got this. Yeah, part of my exercises has been trying to draw straight lines. And, well, I'm getting there. Slowly. So I was reading, I was watching a YouTube video the other day about iterative drawing, incremental drawing, the idea of incrementally getting better. It's a very good video by YouTuber Scythe or something like that. Anyways, about incremental drawing. And one of the things he says is, do 20 heads or do 20 this or that, a day, and it helps get you better. And I don't want to do that. So I'm starting off with lines. I try to do 20, 50 lines, straight lines, vertical and horizontal a day. Try to help get me better at straight lines. I got to start from the basics. I'm not an artist. I'm a programmer by trade. And I need to work on that part. So anyways, we're here. So we've got this. So we've got, let's say, something to help me remember the idea. So we've got these barrels. We have a green barrel over here. Maybe these barrels represent different things. I don't know. Magenta barrel over. Well, we're just going to do 2 barrels. Well, we'll do a magenta barrel too. Magenta barrel here. Or a magenta box, maybe. We'll fill it in. We'll fill this one in. We got the player here. We got a little trail. Oops. Train off of this. And then we'll do orange. That looks good enough. A little orange object above him. And then a little green out. Oh, let's do a teal object. What am I doing? And we got my little barrel above him, There we go. So that's the idea, and we'll do magenta. Pop back onto him. There we go. I like that. There we go. That's kind of just a quick drawing. It's terrible. It's ugly. It looks terrible. It's horrible. But just a quick sketching out of a gameplay idea I had. And I kind of like it. I think it'll be cool. Obviously, it needs to be implemented and such, but it is what it is. Let's go over here to gameplay stuff. Go for town. See, it's for lore, story, timeline, world. What do I want to do? I kind of want to create a new one. Not ideas for lore, not character profiles. Although we can get rid of character profiles now. Yeah. Archive. Because that's gone. Docs. Sorry, folders. Demergo. Go for town. Alright, story, timeline, world. I guess just get a new one called gameplay ideas. Sounds good to me. Switches. So we'll call this multi. Probably harder to see. Multi-switch multi-gopher switches. And then we'll call this, we'll call this next one inventory, multi-gopher inventory. Alrighty. Just give those H2s. I don't like this. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go over to Trello and add this into Trello backlog or ideas. And we'll call it multi-gopher switch. And then multi-gopher inventory. Perfect. Quick description of it is in order to access / unlock something in the world, a certain number of gophers is required to stand on switches. And initially I was thinking, maybe we'll let you return the gophers to the hole, like, so you collect a gopher, you can go and return it to the hole right away, and then you don't have to worry about losing that gopher again. But if I want to do these multi-switches, I've been leaning towards maybe the idea of pens, having pens around the level so that you don't have to always travel with a ton of gophers, so you can kind of stash some in pens or something around the level. And when it's in the pen, it's kind of in a safe zone, but you can actually go back to the pen later to recollect the gopher. So that way you can have a long chain. I'm kind of thinking that direction as well. In order to access unlock something in the world, a certain number of gophers required to stand on switches. All right. And maybe that's the idea is we're going to go over to exports. We'll just export that slice. And then we'll just export that slice. And then we'll just export these two. A box Demergo, gophers, design. Yeah. Design works fine. Slice one is a terminal name. Let's call it multi-gopher switches. And then we'll export to the same location and we'll call it multi-gopher inventory. Alright, let's export those. I know this is really exciting, but it is what it is. And then we'll do this computer, Demergo, folder, gophers, design, inventory, switches. Perfect, now we got it. Great. And then multi-gopher inventory. When the player has multiple gophers. So the question is, what happens if you have a bunch of inventory and your gopher, and you have a multi-gopher chain and you go to stash your gopher? Well, I think what I'm going to do is just not allow you to stash your gopher until the inventory is gone. Or we could just drop the inventory at that location. Maybe that might work too. But when the player has multiple gophers on their tail, allow the player to store items, allow those chain of gophers to carry inventory items, or not just inventory, but items around creating a temporary system. And it's temporary because you can have a big chain you may not have. You won't start every level with a chain, but later on, and that could be a great way to help with levels, kind of. In order to access certain areas of levels, you have to have a certain number of gophers, either for switches or to be able to carry a certain number of inventory items. Maybe the switches only work if you have inventory items, if you have the correct inventory items to carrying. You're carrying the correct inventory items under separate gophers or something. I don't know, something like that. We'll attach a link. Actually, no. Here we go. All right, that's all I want to talk about for inventory. In fact, I'm going to actually add that other card on there that I said go for holding items. Allow the player to stash little gophers in pens to prevent extra long chains from forming. These pens are safe areas for the player and counts towards their gopher total. Because the idea is you can't beat a world until you have a total number of gophers. You can't get to the end of the level until you have completed all the gophers. So, holding penalties. And this idea was actually brought to me because of my wife. So these are going to be designed for right now. It's design, and then I guess they'll eventually hit coding too. So maybe we'll just throw coding on as well. Because they're kind of designed out, but we'll throw coding and design on both of them. Labels, coding, design. All right. I realize this is probably pretty small for all of these. So let's make it a little larger. This is public too, so you can see this on a public Trello board. So. Anyways, so that's all I wanted to cover, just that cool idea, that inventory idea was kind of the cool idea I came up with yesterday. And I really like it. I think it could unlock some cool concepts, some cool ideas, as well as I don't think I've ever seen a variable-sized inventory before. It's possible. Maybe it's something like Pikmin did or something like that. That's kind of, I've never played Pikmin, but it sounds like something Pikmin would do. But I'm not sure. So it's a cool idea. Thanks for joining me on this quick stream. Hope you enjoyed watching me do a little bit of terrible drawing and work on this new kind of gameplay idea I came up with. Thanks, and see you later.